The Lord is my shepherd. He makes me to lie down. He leads me. He restores my soul. Miss Belle Todd of Texas shared an upper room devotion a few months ago about this Psalm 23. She notes how much the psalmist comforts us, which I believe is because the psalmist is comforted because of where he keeps his attention in the psalm. The subject of those first three verses is God, the Lord, for he is the one who leads, who provides, the one who restores. In the last two verses, the psalmist converts his comments about the shepherd into prayers to the shepherd who prepares a table before us, who anoints us and fills our cups to overflowing. So in all five of those verses, the psalmist helps us keep our attention on God. The one verse outside this theme is verse 4, where it sounds like the focus is on me and where I am. Interestingly enough, that's when we find ourselves in the valley of the shadow of death. But even then, even there, I fear no evil because I've turned my attention back upward and realized the shepherd is right there with me, guiding and guarding with his rod and staff. Only that verse and only part of it is focused on me. That's when I feel like trouble is near. But the overwhelming message of the psalm is turn your attention toward heaven so you can see all of life in close proximity to the psalmist's shepherd, or as the New Testament says, our good shepherd in Jesus. That's what happened in Bethlehem on that Christmas morning. Listen as Linda Stubblefield shares some of the song, Bethlehem Morning.
Lift up your heads, no need to mourn. His hand is stretched out still. For unto us a child is born, his promise to fulfill. Jerusalem, he cried for you. He did not come to you in vain. His loving arms are open wide for you, and he will come again.
The promise that he will come again, that he will reign as King of Kings and Lord of Lords, is a promise on which you can stake your life. Linda appreciates that song partly because of the lyrics and the message, but primarily because of the messenger, Sandy Patty. Back on the third Sunday of Advent, Linda shared that song with us in worship. You remember that Linda was one of the last generation in America to contract polio. You hopefully know that as she sings with us and sings to God for us, that decade after decade, their whole lives since college, she and Steve have focused less on their problems and more on their Lord. Sandy Patty was one who helped Linda to do this. In Luke chapter 21, Jesus told his disciples that they would definitely experience very hard days. Days when they feel like they're looking more into the gates of hell than the windows of heaven. And then he told them that when that happens, you are to stand up and lift up your head. No more sagging spirit, feeling down and out. No reason to doubt or fear or even to sink into depression because, as Jesus concludes, your redemption is drawing near. It's like that great old Advent hymn, Lift Up Your Head, You Mighty Gates. We know things in life will be difficult. And yet, instead of looking only at the troubles of our lives, instead of thinking only about myself, we seek to live like the psalmist, focusing less on my life and more on my Lord. That's how we find a strength that comes from no other source. We find a purpose that keeps us going. On that same particular Sunday in Advent, Sandra Miller shared another song that has the exact same focus. It took us back to so many parts of the Christmas story. The verses seem to start on a sad note or a sour note, like Mary and Joseph finding no room at the inn, the shepherds who had no choice but to work the night shift, or an abandoned stable, a manger that was cold and dark. Those things are harsh realities, reminding us how difficult life can be. But each verse then turns our attention upward to that old Charles Wesley hymn, "Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today, and man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day." You see, as Christians, we don't stand up or lift up our heads by merely pretending that life isn't hard, or that issues like COVID-19 are not a big deal. We know those things are hard, and it is a big deal, just like Jesus' followers have always known that those things are a big deal. But they were willing to stand up, to lift up their heads, to face life head on, and yes, even to rejoice, because they knew the Good Shepherd is with them and with us, and that he is still leading and guiding, protecting and providing. So you, no matter what's going on in your world, there's no pretending here. You, stand up, lift up your head, be confident that your shepherd is with you. Here's how Sandra tells that story in song.
Now Joseph and his wife Mary came to Bethlehem that night and found no place to bear her child. Not a single room was in sight. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today, and man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. By and by they found a little nook in a stable all forlorn, and in a manger cold and dark Mary's little boy child was born. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today, and man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day.